Have you ever had one of those brilliant ideas for an app or a website, but then the thought of actually building it, the coding, the design, the deployment, it just felt totally overwhelming? Well, today we're going to look at something that might just change all of that. We are talking about Meta GPT.
But let me just start with a kind of a crazy question. What if I told you that you could build a fully functional, professional-looking web application in just 5 minutes? I know, it sounds completely impossible, right? Something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Well, take a look at this. This is a super clean, totally interactive financial dashboard for NVIDIA. You can sort by different business segments, by region, and the animations are just incredibly smooth. I mean, this is something you could confidently present to an executive board. And the crazy part? It was built entirely by AI.
And it's not just for, heavy data dashboards. Check out this gorgeous hiking block. It's got that dynamic navigation bar that pops up as you scroll, perfectly placed images, and these buttery smooth animations. The quality here is just absolutely top-notch, all the way down to the footer. And yep, you guessed it, this was also built by AI.
So, how long did it take to create these? We're not talking weeks or even days of work. Both of these projects, from the initial idea to a working product, were done in about 5 minutes. Yep, 5.
So you have to be asking yourself, how in the world is this even possible? This level of quality and speed, it's just not something we've seen before. And the secret isn't just a better code generator. No, the secret is in the entire approach.
See, it's possible because you're not just using a single lone AI. With Meta GPT, you're basically hiring an entire coordinated team of specialized AI agents who work together just like a real human software company would.
So what is Meta GPT exactly? Well, at its core, it's a multi-agent system. Instead of one AI trained to juggle everything, you get a whole team of AIs, each with its own specialty, all collaborating on your project. And the real innovation here, the thing that makes it all work, is that the system is designed to mimic how the best human teams get stuff done.
So let's meet the team. You've got Mike, he's the team leader, kind of the project coordinator. Then there's Emma, your product manager, who's doing the market research. You've got David, the data analyst, Bob, the architect who's designing the whole system, and finally Alex, the engineer who's actually writing the code. Each one has a name and a specific job, making up your own personal virtual dev team. Okay, so we've met the team. But how do they actually work together? How do they take one simple idea from you and turn it into a full-blown application? Well, it all comes down to their workflow. And the process is just fascinating. It all starts when you give your prompt to Mike, the team leader. Now, Mike doesn't just jump into coding. No, first he gives the task to Emma, the product manager, and she goes out and does competitive analysis and writes up a detailed product requirements document, or a PRD. Once that's ready, Mike hands it over to Bob, the architect. Bob designs the entire system architecture, and he even creates these super easy-to-understand diagrams. It's only then, with a solid plan and a clear architecture in hand, that Mike finally assigns the coding tasks to Alex, the engineer.
And that right there, that is the key. That's the secret sauce. The system isn't just randomly spitting out code. It's generating a plan, a structure first. It's mirroring the exact same process that the most efficient human teams use to build incredible products.
And because of that structured process, what you get at the end isn't just a jumbled mess of code. You get high-quality, really user-friendly code, and these crystal-clear architecture diagrams. This means the final product isn't just functional, it's also maintainable. A human can actually look at it, understand it, and modify it later. That's a huge deal.
But here's where it gets even crazier. Meta GPT doesn't stop once the code is written. For most tools, that's the end of the road. For Meta GPT, that's just the beginning. It handles the entire process of turning your code into a live, running business.
This comparison really just says it all, doesn't it? The old way is this long, painful list of manual tasks. Finding hosting, configuring databases, setting up payment systems, it's exhausting. The MetaGPT way, it takes almost all of that complexity and boils it down to a single prompt and one publish button.
So what does this actually mean for you? It means you can turn your app idea into a real business, like instantly. You hit publish and you get a live URL. You can integrate Supabase with a single click to handle your database and all the user logins. You can literally just copy and paste an API key from Stripe to start accepting payments. You can even set up different subscription tiers for your service. It's basically a business in a box.
Okay, I know. This all sounds a little too good to be true, so we have to ask the practical questions. What's the catch here? What's this all actually cost? And is it really worth it?
And look, there is one downside we absolutely need to talk about: tokens.
Running a whole team of 5 specialized AI agents, well, that's not free. It uses a pretty significant amount of API tokens, which means, yes, there is a cost to run it.
But let's put that cost into perspective, because this is the important part. If you wanted to build a small web app like the ones we just saw, and you outsourced it to a human agency, you would be looking at $5,000, $10,000, easy. The estimated token cost to build a similar project with MetaGPT? Somewhere between $50 and $100. So yeah, it costs something, but the value proposition isn't even in the same universe.
And people are really starting to notice. It was voted Product of the Week on Product Hunt, and the praise you keep seeing from users is that it genuinely feels like you're working with a real team of agents, not just using a tool. That human-like collaboration, that's what makes it so incredibly powerful.
Which brings us to one last really big thought. For years, we've been asking, will AI replace our jobs? But maybe, just maybe, that was the wrong question all along. Looking at a system like this, the real question we should be asking might be, is your next great coworker, or maybe even your entire next creative team, going to be a team of AIs?